Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, man. Yeah, I had to go from my backup software because StreamYard was acting weird. I don't know what was going on with that, but we are here. Like I was saying, so we were streaming on Rockfin and Rumble, but StreamYard was giving me problems. Therefore, we are here right now. This is where we're gonna stay at. We're gonna stay on YouTube for today till we get this situation managed. Like I said, we're doing a little dress rehearsal right now. But while we're doing that, we're gonna do some news too. So y'all let me know that y'all can hear me and all that good stuff. Pete Clintonism. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about Pakman. Yeah, that's Dave. Y'all make sure y'all like this video and share it. Sorry, Rockfin and Rumble fans. I'm gonna get right. We're gonna try again tomorrow. This is gonna be a week of experimentation, for sure. I'm gonna give it. Oh, actually, I guess I could share it. Me and this dog gonna fight. I know that. Appreciate y'all patience, by the way. I'm not joking. I've been trying to get this shit up and running for like a good 20 minutes, 30 minutes almost. Because for some reason it wasn't recognizing the software, or it wasn't recognizing my streaming software. So Lord knows. My thoughts on Dr. Shiva. I don't really have thoughts on Dr. Shiva yet. I'm always like, I'm up in the air about him. He has some good things to say. Like he's decent when it comes to calling out the establishment. I'll give him credit there. He's been right about Vivek from the beginning, so there's that. I don't know. I'm just kind of weary of people on their own self-righteous crusade at the moment. Call me skeptical. I don't know. It's my fault. I mean, you know, he has I don't know. He has a quality about him or a trait about him, and I'm still more than willing to hear him out, and I'm even thinking about inviting him on my show because I want to kind of probe him. But he has this characteristic, he has this trait about him that kind of just bothers me. I don't know what it is. Like it's like his ego is emanating from his body, and I can sense it when he talks. Like he's really upset that other people don't acknowledge how super smart he is, like they seem to be doing right now for like Vivek, for example. I could be wrong, though. He deserves a fair opportunity like everybody else, I suppose, but yeah. So, I think everybody can hear me okay. I think everybody can hear me okay. I think, all right. I think we good, people. I think we are good. So I appreciate y'all for being part of my first dress rehearsal for 40 People Podcast, by the way. I appreciate y'all. I'm excited to be back into the streaming world because it's been crazy out there, It's been crazy. So we got a lot to talk about. All right? Let's get a show on the road.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this very first, or I would say maybe like 0.5 episode of the For the People podcast. This is, like I was saying earlier, our dress rehearsal. I just got my new setup, feeling pretty good about it. Built a new computer all by myself. Y'all don't even know, bro. When you have ADHD, putting together a computer by yourself, it's like easy as hell, but also the most frustrating thing because you're going to miss a detail that you are eventually going to have to backtrack to resolve, and it is a headache. But I did it. Basically, I kind of put the hardware together all in one morning, but the software part, because I was I'm converting from Apple to Windows, at least for my PC. And so that, all I have is Apple products. So imagine trying to install a bunch of Windows shit when all you have is Apple products. That was my headache. Also, I moved. Really excited about that. One of my New Year brags. I still live in Rio. Still live here. Not going back to the States anytime soon. Yeah, it's crazy over there. But I still live in Rio. I just moved down the street, but I got a house. My very first house. Really excited about it. I live in a little gated community. Live in the suburbs of Rio. It's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Feels a little bit safer. I have a dog that lives next door to me who, if he doesn't keep barking or if he continues to bark while I'm trying to record, I'm gonna visit the pharmacy and drop some medicine off in front of his porch because it's getting on my nerves. But other than that, it's all good. It's all good. It's been a very, very hectic year so far, but in great ways. And I hope that your 2024 has started off as best as it can. Because like I said, I know right now the world is turbulent. There's a lot of shit going on, bro. It's too much, honestly. So I want to go ahead, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the show. Yes, I know some of you might have probably realized, not Mikasa Tsukasa anymore. It's a new phase, 2024, guys. It's Dragon Year, for those of you who don't know. Technically, Dragon Year starts February, like 7th or 8th, but for all intents and purposes, it's Dragon Year. What does that mean? It's also Kobe Year, but Dragon Year is the year of the dragon. It's the year I was born. I always said that around that time is when I would want to kind of rebrand the show, kind of try some new stuff, keep it fresh, just as I expect to be from this point in my life going forward. My birthday passed on December 27th. Just turned, wouldn't you like to know? And I'm really excited about this upcoming year. Got a lot of great projects coming on. Got a lot of great things happening in my personal life. And I felt like everything kind of needed upgrades. So that's what I did. We got a great show for you guys today. So we're going to be talking about Martin Luther King because it is his day. And within that context, we're going to talk a little bit about his Israel-Palestine legacy, because as you probably have guessed, a lot of the establishment have been going around doing what they love to do. They over here liberalizing and whiteifying and Uncle Tom and MLK for their benefit. You know, they love to do that every goddamn year. You can count on that shit. We also gonna talk about Vivek doing some cringe shit with a Trump voter. Whew, cringe. Wait till y'all see the video. It got a lot of the Trump people upset, and I can imagine why. We're also going to talk about David Pakman being David Pakman, sweet baby Jesus. Look. We're also going to talk about the MCU breaking my heart, disappointing me. They announced an Israeli superhero like that they're going to be bringing into the world of Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. Also, we're going to talk about these little boys, the Vanguard. Apparently, they had something to say about me, which is random as hell. Because I promise you, I haven't even thought twice about them. And I'm sure other people haven't either. But they just happened to find me on a day where I got time. I looked at my watch. Found out I had a little bit of time today. So we're going to talk about that. And I think that's it for the time being, unless something else comes up. So, first things first. I want to bring up this David Pakman clip. And once again, we are on a trial run, so make sure, I want to make sure that y'all can hear everything. If you can't hear anything, please let me know immediately, and I will go ahead and reconcile that. Oops.
This is not a show about my opinion is irrelevant. economy is absolute trash.
Oh.
There are no jobs.
Oh. We actually have record low unemployment.
Everything is so freaking expensive.
Inflation was 0 in October, 0.1 in November, and year-over-year inflation is down to 3.1%.
Interest rates are through the roof.
Interest rates are down 2 points and coming down further.
Kids can't even buy a house.
Well, okay. Kids can't even buy a house. I don't know what age you're thinking of. That part may be true.
What would you be doing if you weren't doing YouTube, man?
I'd probably be working in finance, to be honest.
Of course you would.
I was all set to go into finance, and then they pulled me into podcasting.
I did everything right, and they indicted.
First of all, of course, David would be going to finance. Of course he would. I'm gonna let him continue. Of course.
Me.
No, I would almost certainly be working in finance, yeah.
I mean, you have to sit there and talk crap about Trump every single day to put food on your table, man.
I don't have to. I choose to, sir, and that's a big difference.
If you didn't have that, you'd be totally screwed, man.
Right.
But I'm telling you this right here. There is no jobs. Nobody is spending money.
Actually, GDP has been up dramatically.
The economy is in the hole. I'm not talking about Trump or Biden. I'm not saying right or left, red or blue. I'm telling you the facts. The economy is in the dumps.
I would love it if he was able to present a single statistic that suggests that. We don't have a perfect economy. And again, we started at the top of the show by pointing out, just because they're lying about oil production being down when it's actually up, doesn't mean we like using oil as a source of energy. They are lying about oil production being down, and I wish it were, and that we were getting off of oil and going over to green energy. In the same way, just because the economy is doing really well by all historical metrics, doesn't mean that we say, hey, I'm satisfied, we don't need to do any better. There are people without...
So, bruh, this arrogant, pompous asshole, dog. Before we get into the actual meat of that conversation, the statistics, how are you going to sit here and tell this man who is, I'm assuming, right? And it's a pretty safe assumption. I'm assuming this man has been living in the U.S. economy. I'm assuming that this man has family members who are part of the U.S. economy. I'm assuming this man probably has a job or has a house or is looking for a job. I'm assuming this man is a working class American, because otherwise there is no way he would sound that pissed off. Do you hear this man? Did you hear his voice while he was talking to Pakman? That was clear evidence he living it. That is whenever I went back to visit the States, it's just anecdotally speaking. Whenever I went back to visit the States, y'all, I heard the same story over and over and over again. Bruh, groceries are crazy. And because of how crazy it is, I'm spending more and I'm having to go back every single week, every other week. People can't even budget for their groceries anymore. Gas is high as hell. I don't know what it is right now, but I know when I was there November and December, gas was high as hell. Bro, I went to CVS or Walgreens to buy something. I think I went to go buy some oils. I think because I went to go buy some oils to redo my hair. I walked in there thinking I was going to spend about 45, 50, maybe 60, because that's what, for all the things that I needed, that's basically what I would pay. And I spent $120. I almost cut my goddamn hair off. I'm like, I don't even like my hair that much to spend $120 every time I need to do it, or whenever I need to re-up on my products. That's crazy. And I have family members that have good jobs. They're working one or two other jobs to make ends meet, because rent has gone up. Rent doesn't stop going up for the majority of Americans. I think most of y'all know that. Rent has gone up consistently. Has it come down? Now, as rent goes up, like we just talked about, groceries have also gone up. Neither of those have come down. Gas has been fluctuating up and down. Energy costs have been through the roof. Interest rates obviously have gone up. Inflation in general has gotten crazy. So this working class American might be speaking anecdotally from his personal experiences. The problem with that is, if Dave Pakman actually talked to average fucking Americans for once in his goddamn life, instead of pontificating from behind a goddamn desk, as if, oh yeah, I know exactly what the economy is like. Bro, you got rich off of bullshitting for the Democratic Party. You have no idea what it's like in the real world. I guarantee it. Dave Pakman has been, and we're about the same age, and Dave Pakman has been doing this since, like, he's been doing it longer than I have. He's been getting deals longer than I have. And of course, this motherfucker, of course he would be in finance if he was. Of course. Finance, bro. He's a sociopath. So, like, that's basically what, he ain't gonna change the world. That's for damn sure. So, even though the caller might have been speaking anecdotally, he's saying the exact same things that I've heard literally everyone else who's living in the States say. And what's crazy, before I get into debunking this whole, inflation's down, nonsense that Dave Pakman tried to rebut this caller with, before I get into that, do y'all hear what he said? He's like, they said, referring to the federal government, oil production is down. And he said that they are liars. Right? He did. He said that they're liars. Okay, David. If you don't believe that they're telling the truth about oil production being down, because obviously the federal government has been known to manipulate statistics and and put out narratives that benefit whatever narrative that they feel would benefit their cause. In this particular case, getting elected. In this particular case, a liberal getting elected in a culture and climate that is really just obsessed with the fourth industrial revolution, with what they think it means versus what it actually is. So they're obsessed with getting off fossil fuels, but not knowing what that actually means if you don't transition correctly. They don't know about slave labor in Africa. They don't know about the cobalt harvest. They don't know about the damage to the environment. They don't know about all that stuff. So a conclusion that David Pakman is actually drawing here is that it's likely that they're lying about oil production being down, and there's a reason for that. Okay, David, so how you gonna sit here and tell us you don't believe them about the oil production being down and then quote statistics like unemployment's down, actually? Unemployment's down. You believe that. Interest rates are lower than ever. You believe that. Inflation is less, it's basically at zero, is what he said. He believes all of that. So the same people who are allegedly, by David's standards, by David's claim, is lying. Those people who are lying about the oil production being down, he believes are telling the truth about all the statistics and the state of the economy. I'm so confused, bro. Which one is it? Which one is it? Oh, basically, his logic is vote Biden, and all this stuff that I want to use to support voting for Biden is actually true. But if you're saying something that is against Biden, well, that's a lie. Unless it's this oil production thing, because that's untrue, even though that came from the same people, same sources, with the same agenda. David Pakman logic, right? But beyond that, he says, show me some numbers that say the opposite. So I went and found some, doing what I do. Just something simple, guys. It doesn't take very long to debunk these people. So, because he wants to talk about inflation and the economy doing so well. Yo, this was just a projection. This is just a projection from the end of the year to debunk what he said. Food prices, people, are expected to rise. Oh, hold on. Let me make sure y'all can hear me. Y'all can see this too. All right. Food prices are expected to rise next year, talking about 2024, but at least at a slower rate than 2023, a new report shows. Food prices in 2024 are forecast to increase at 2.9%, nearly half of the 5.8% price increases seen all of 2023, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Meanwhile, how much Americans will have to pay for groceries next year, 2024, will also see a slowdown with an estimated rise of 1.6% in prices compared to 5.2%, compared to the 5.2% price jump seen in 2023. Okay. Do y'all see a problem with that? Y'all see a problem with that logic? So let's just say, percentage-wise, the rate of inflation is lower than it once was last year. Okay, percentage-wise. Did everybody get roughly a 7% raise since last year? Out of curiosity. Did everybody get a 7% raise since last year? Or 8% raise or 9% raise? Or 10% raise to make it actually worth it? Because, 6-7% raise, the government coming for that. Especially depending on what state you live in. Everybody gets that? Nah, I think not. Okay, so, question. If just food inflation, ladies and gentlemen, it was a 5.9% increase last year. Most people, of course, did not get 5.9% or 6% raises on the year. You're lucky if you get 2 or 3%. And let's be honest, you're lucky if you get a raise in America. So there's that. Okay. And instead of, fortunately, the forecast is that you're not going to have another 5.9% increase. You're just going to have basically a 2% increase. Hold on. But what about the 5.9%? Are y'all going to subtract that and then start over? Nah, they don't do that. That's not how it works. That 5.9% is still there. That 5.9% is still there. It didn't disappear, David. You fucking dumbass. Can't believe this guy's going into finance. He said he was going to go into finance, y'all. It didn't disappear. The 5% or the 5.9%, basically the 6% inflation on just food prices is still there. And the prediction has been such that there's a 2% increase, that there will be a 2% on top of the 5.9% that motherfuckers could not afford already. That's why this dude is pissed. You're not even listening. He's saying what we have is not enough. And we're going in the wrong direction. It's like they cut off, they cut off half of my finger, right? But like, hey man, next year they're only gonna cut off a quarter of what's left. But hold on, so I'm not gonna get the other half of my finger back? Well, what the fuck? That's not gonna help me. Who's that gonna help? Not a damn soul. Exactly. But people like Pakman bro, do y'all know he posted this on TikTok? He posted this on TikTok as if it was like a victory for him. He posted it on TikTok like it was a flex. Y'all, are you kidding me? I know I've been gone for a little minute, y'all, but please don't tell me that there have been this many people that have become, like, that claim to be leftists, that claim to be liberals, that have become this tone deaf. That they think that shitting on the working class that they're supposed to be advocating for is actually a flex, like to post on TikTok. Bruh. I'll tell you this. It's nice to know that some things haven't changed because Pakman is still an asshole. Bro, how do you... I'm gonna move on for us. Y'all know how I feel about that man. Y'all know how I feel about that man. All right, y'all, we're gonna move on to the next subject. For those of you, I know I have some Trump people here. I know a lot of y'all are independent. I know a lot of y'all might even now support Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm going to tell y'all like it is. I do not like him. I do not trust him. He is a slime ball. If you take the worst qualities of Trump and the worst qualities of Obama, but also give him all the charisma of Obama, that's basically Vivek. It bothers me how much people cannot see through him. Maybe it's because I remember the Obama era so clearly. Maybe it's because I'm still jaded by the Obama era. I don't know. Maybe it's because Vivek has a goddamn habit of talking out of both sides of his neck. He'll say one thing in front of one crowd and another thing entirely in front of another crowd. Vivek, and we're going to go into detail about this in a second, but Vivek is the only person that I know that is famous as hell for being rich as hell, but actually has not achieved anything, has not created anything that made him rich. He's just rich and famous for being rich and famous and talking really nice and being very charismatic and giving a valedictorian speech and finally shaving his fucking hands, because that was pretty gross. I'm glad he did that. But, and saying all the right things some of the time, but making sure if he does say the wrong thing, that he says it super quietly. He's like the opposite. He's like anti-Nikki Haley. Because Nikki Haley gonna say the wrong thing loud as hell. We know that. But Vivek, that man did some narcissistic shit this past weekend in Iowa. And some of the Trump people are upset, as they should be. But more importantly, I think that this should be a conversation that Vivek's new supporters should be having or be willing to have. Because once y'all see this video, you're gonna be like, yo, what the hell? Dog. Let me find it. There you go. All right.
Scared of you. Just
They
like
are.
They're scared of Trump.
Oh,
they are scared.
and they will
of
stop
you.
at nothing, but we're not going to let them get away with it. I've got fresh legs. I'm not wounded. And
That's
they're not going
true.
to let this man do it.
You know, when you
This
said
is why I
eliminate,
know.
that gave me a chill. Because I'm scared.
Because you think it's false or because you think it's true?
I think it's true. I think they will stop at
It is-
nothing to stop them. Stop Trump.
It's
Because-
sad, but it's the truth. It's the sad, but it's the truth. So I'm
But
asking you to do
that's-
your part, and we're going to.
You know, when
We
I
can
do
do
these
this.
polls,
We
when
can
I
do
this
this.
poll,
Yeah.
they say, how do you feel about the United States? And I say, I'm worried and I'm fearful.
It's my job that you don't have to feel that way in this country.
But we're losing it.
We're you think
We're losing it.
It
And
pains
we
me to
need
hear
people.
that.
We need people like you.
do,
Young,
we're going to do
vibrant.
this, and that's what our founding fathers were.
Yes.
It's 1776 moment soon. I want your support at that Iowa caucus.
And I get emotional.
I'm emotional about this country. I need your support on Monday night. You do this, I'm going to do my part.
Okay, you're picking at my shell. You are.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got
It's
commitments.
about this country. It's about this country. You want to save Trump, you vote for me. I'm telling you
Yeah.
that. You vote for Trump. You're sending
He's
him
a sledgehammer.
No, but you're sending
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all see that? This man said, if you want to save Trump, you vote for me. What? Yeah, what? How you gonna manipulate? First of all, what kind of heartless bastard? Like I said, y'all know, I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not doing it. Operation Warp Speed, too much incentive with the deep state, bro. He left them January 6th protesters out to dry. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not voting for Trump. However, that don't mean I think that the problem with Vivek is that, like, he's worse than Trump, but he's more savvy. You get what I'm saying? He's everything that I thought a lot of people believe DeSantis would be. Right? Like I said, he is Obama 2.0, but worse because he's hitting all the right notes in the Republican Party where most of them are idiots. So it's easier even. Like, he don't have a Mike Gravel to talk. You know, you don't have a Ron Paul right now running. He don't have none of that. It's just Vivek and a bunch of idiots running in the Republican Party. And Trump, who's probably going to win, but not. There's a reason why. There's a chance that he might not, bro. There's a chance that he might not. First of all, this man is out here manipulating the hell out of his voters. And I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. There is no damn logic to what Vivek just said. But this is a narcissist. This is somebody who is a sociopath, who is very, 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 that boy a smooth operator. He's smooth operator. I could hear the song playing in the background as he was hugging him. Boy, he was like, because he knew I got her. Once he brought her in for that hug, he knew. But let me talk to y'all about his logic, what Vivek said. Vivek said the only way to save Trump is to vote for Vivek. The only way. Vivek, I got a question for you. Okay? Aunt Viv. Why do you believe that if they vote for you, that you will be able to save Trump? Why is that? You believe that you will be able to save Trump because you will be emboldened with the power to do so. Now, we know the only way. Now, he believes that he's an outsider, and that's why people should believe that he would save Trump. Got that. But the only way you would get the power to do so is if you weren't an outsider. The only way you get the power to make those kind of bold changes, those kind of bold decisions, that kind of mandate is if you're one of them, right? One of the people who felt like Trump, albeit not that great of a president, even though, gotta give him credit, he's nowhere near as bad as Biden, but he wasn't as bad as they would have liked. You know what y'all know what I like to say. He was never as consistently bad as they would have liked him to be. He was too inconsistent. So they did all this. Why? Because he's inside outside. I like to call he be hanging outside like this. You know, his arm be out there. He still be in the establishment door, but every now and then he'll wave his hand like this, and he looks like an outsider. Okay, that was too much for the establishment. And look at what they're doing to him. So if you are truly, and we've seen, like, whenever the establishment perceives anybody as being an outsider, we see how they treat them, correct? They hate outsiders. They hate them. They beat outsiders down so bad. We've seen it time and time again. They beat outsiders down so bad that they become insiders. I mean, to be frank. They beat Trump down so bad so many times, that boy started talking like George W. They beat Bernie down so bad, that man started sounding like Bill Clinton. Hope he ain't on the same planes as Bill Clinton. That's a different conversation for a different day. But that's what they do. They beat Tulsi down so bad, Tulsi sound worse than Trump. Justin Amash just completely separated from politics, basically, it seems like. That's what they do to outsiders. But Vivek is saying that I'm an outsider, so you should trust me, because I'm going to have the power to save Trump. But if you had the power to save Trump, they would have never given you the power. Or excuse me, if you had the power to save Trump, the only reason they're giving you that power is because they believe that you're one of them, and therefore you would never save him. You would never intervene. But this man's out here lying to little old ladies. Lying to little old ladies at Iowa caucuses saying, you want to save the country? You want to save Trump? You got to vote for me. Y'all don't think that that's a little bit problematic? And here's why I say that's a little bit problematic. So y'all know, I don't know if y'all know this, but every now and then I parlay over on conservative Twitter, because some of the homies is over there, a couple of them. So I like to check in on them to see how things are doing. And it's a little crazy over there right now. Y'all know why? Because the girl who made her career off of switching up and endorsing Trump and fighting for Trump, no matter what, she done switched up again, y'all. Here's what Candace Owens had to say. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Politics has made us all cynical. But the support for Vivek really isn't a conspiracy. If you spend any amount of time with him, you'll walk away irrevocably impressed. Boy, I swear to God, it just sounds... You know what's crazy about this? Before I even go any further, y'all do know, like, Candace originally was super popular because she had this really popular website or blog about Barack Obama. She fell for that too. And for somebody who is actually really smart, when it comes to some things, Candace will fall for. Anyway, let's continue. He is operating at a superhuman level of intelligence, and he is genuinely America first. Except for when he's not. Personally, I don't know why a person with his aptitude would want to be in politics, but after speaking with people who attended Yale with him, he is simply wired this way. He is an overachiever in all areas of life. That is not comforting. I don't know who considers that to be comforting. He's an overachiever in all areas of life. In other words, it's about him and his goals, and that's it. That's it? That's the only reason? It's not a good sign, but let's continue. She says, I believe Vivek has a higher IQ than any person I have ever come across in politics. First of all, these people and their obsession with IQ. First of all, having a higher IQ than anybody else in politics doesn't really say much. Most of the people in politics are idiots. Second of all, having a high IQ doesn't mean you have the aptitude to deal in politics and be successful in politics and understand people well enough to know what we need in the real world. And now I will say in Vivek's case, Vivek is smart enough to know exactly what to say and who to say it in front of. That man is a whole Hindu, has been pretending for the last year he's Christian. That shit crazy. I ain't never seen no shit like that. But that's what he's on. And he said it enough in front of the right people at the right time that they're not even going back and looking at the stuff he used to say, or the facts for that matter. She goes on to say his youth is an asset. I hope that he remains in politics and that people set aside their understandable cynicism and give him a real chance. We simply need candidates like this. I don't know what's crazy about this whole thing. What the fuck? What has he done? We need candidates like this. Give me a description of something that he has said or done that has shown that he's willing to make the sacrifices necessary to be a great politician that is representative of the people. She says, I now have 3 children. The future of this country brings me grave concern, which I agree with. Vivek is the first GOP candidate that has assuaged that anxiety. Oh. These hoes ain't loyal. Oh. These trolls ain't loyal. Damn, boy, it sounds like she done switched up on Trump. My instincts about people have very rarely led me astray in life. Ladies and gentlemen, I just told y'all this is the same woman who was unapologetically behind Obama before she was unapologetically behind Bernie, before in that same election she was unapologetically behind Trump. And it's also the same person who was unapologetically behind Ben Shapiro until Ben Shapiro came out and openly attacked her because she refused to bow down to, genocidal terrorists. So that's a pretty jarring, pretty jarring lack of self-awareness on Candace's part, but whatever. Oh, matter of fact, this same person who was the minority hire for Charlie Kirk, people. Literally, the minority hire for Charlie Kirk because somebody else got fired because Charlie Kirk was being openly racist in his text messages along with his staff members. Like, not Charlie Kirk didn't get fired, but the black person got fired, and then the woman who made all the comments about the black people while talking to Charlie Kirk in the group text, she got fired, and then they brought on Candace Owens as a minority hire. That's what happened. Yeah. Go watch that Joe Rogan interview and then go do some research. It's pretty enlightening. She says, my instincts about people have rarely led me astray. My instincts are telling me to support Vivek. And there you go. Oh, it gets better. Cernovich, bro. Mike Cernovich has switched up on him. Spent yesterday in Iowa trailing the Vivek campaign. Went through blizzard conditions to make events. He's the real deal. Does the reading, picks up on new information quickly, good at rabbit holes, for example, how our great truckers are being mistreated. Highly competent person. While Republicans always 8 years late, Darren, thank you for the super chat. In the UK, our own establishment are just as bad as yours. Just look at what they did to Jeremy Corbyn. They painted a man of peace as if he was a devil. That's facts. It's guys, why are Republicans always so goddamn late? Y'all watched us deal with Barack Obama, y'all. Y'all seen it. Y'all were there with us in solidarity after, well, not during the fact, but after the fact, because this man lied to everybody. And y'all about to get Obama right in front of us. Y'all about to get Obama right now. Y'all about to get Obama, bro. At least Obama was an actual attorney and was successful before he became president and had been overly rewarded for not doing anything. Vivek, like, y'all don't, this is a problem. Like, Candace Owens jumping over to Candace Owens and Cernovich, of all people too, jumping over to Vivek means that there is still a crucial lack of self-awareness within that camp of conservatives, and just with conservatives as it is. At least I know, for example, there are a lot of conservatives who still support Trump, but are still highly critical of what he did during Operation Warp Speed, highly critical of him bombing Syria, highly critical of his loyalty to Israel. But they're acknowledging it, right? I can deal with that. Everybody has their opinions on what they're willing to trade off in order to get the things that they believe they are advocating for. Everybody has that. Cool. But the problem isn't that they like Vivek. The problem is that they think he is somehow different. When we just watch this man who claimed, by the way, before I think he made a claim like Nikki Haley, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he made the same claim as Nikki Haley, that if Trump ran again, that he would not run for office. If I'm not mistaken. Because he supported Trump. Now, throughout the entirety of this primary process, he's been cheering for Trump and advocating for Trump. And basically what appeared to be gunning for a vice presidential position. And he's gone from that to, you want to save Trump? You better vote for me. Y'all think he gave that speech to a bunch of Trump supporters? Nah, probably not. He had a little one-on-one speech with her. I mean, it's easy to change the hearts and mind of one person in the entire crowd, but has he ever said that during a debate? Has he ever said that to the masses? No. He probably didn't even know that video was going to surface. I can almost guarantee he didn't know. That's why he was whispering, none of that's important. You want to save Trump? You got to vote for me. What's even crazier is that y'all notice that in all that, once again, the pontification, they use a lot of lovely, fluffy, flowery words to describe this man. And really quick, what the fuck did they cite as his success? What did they actually cite? Like, man, I believe based on his history or patterns of running a business, running social organizations, organizing, activism, journalism, anything like that. I believe in his history that he would be a good president because. Did they say anything like that? Anything like that? There was a lot of fluffy, flowery shit that was said. Oh man, he's the real deal. He's competent. Like, that's a really fucking weird, that's a sad Guys, I'm so glad I don't live in the U.S. anymore. Y'all realize how sad the bar is, how low the bar is, how ridiculous it is that the bar is so incredibly low that these motherfuckers say, hey, guy, he competent as hell, y'all. That is the requirement. You would think that would be the standard, but apparently it's like, oh shit, he's competent. Like, what? That's what they said though. He's competent, guys. Okay, what about his history? Well, he's competent and he has a high IQ. Well, what about his history? Well, he's competent, he has a high IQ, and he's very, very well-spoken and charismatic. Okay, well, what about his history? What has he done to show that he is willing to make sacrifices, personal sacrifices, that will lead to him challenging the system and will be required to challenge the system and advocate on behalf of the people? What history has he shown? Not a single goddamn thing. That's my point. Not a near, not a nothing, y'all. Nothing. Y'all, are y'all aware of how Vivek became a billionaire? I think he's close to a billionaire. He's close to it. I believe his company is called Roivant. It's like a biomedical research company. Create pharmaceuticals. That's what they were supposed to do. Do y'all know how many successful products Ramaswamy's company is created? Don't worry, I'll wait. 0. Want me to say it in Spanish? Cero. Want me to say it in Portuguese? Cero. Nothing. Do y'all know how many successful trial runs his company has had? 0. None. In fact, he basically defrauded investors at one point, claiming that there was a successful trial run, and then when everything got released, they found out they weren't even kind of close, people. He wasn't even kind of close. But somehow, this man on February 21st, I think their stocks were like $3, $4, some shit like that. February 21st, 2022. His stocks were like $3 or $4. He announced on February 21st, 2022, man sold 4 million shares, worth roughly $32 million because his stock doubled when he announced. What a coincidence. He recently, I want to say about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, roughly, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. No more than a week, no less than a week ago, but he just sold, I want to say another $30 million worth of shares. Something close to it. Y'all, somehow since then, his stocks are now, I checked as of January 9th, the stocks of his company, $11, like almost close to $12. When the guy who owned the company, whose family, if I'm not mistaken, still owns the majority of the shares, the guy who owns the company sold tens of millions. I'm not an expert in finance, right? But here's what's usually supposed to happen. If you don't have a product, you've never successfully produced a product, and the face of the company decides that he is going to sell tens of millions of dollars worth of shares, do you know what generally happens to your stocks? The fucking stocks fall. They don't climb. But for some reason, since Vivek has announced his presidency, the stocks for a company who have never created a successful product, in fact, have got caught lying about the progress of creating a successful product. Their stocks keep rising. He keeps selling them off and making 20 million, 25, 30 million, 30 million, 25, 30 foot. Bro. And that's why I said in the beginning of the video, Vivek is the only person I know who is famous for being rich, but we don't know what the fuck he was rich from. He's rich from being rich, basically. Now, let's just put this in the context of running the United States. Y'all really want to hand the keys of the U.S. over to a man who was famous for starting a company that made him rich from not doing anything and saying that he was going to do it? We got enough politicians making $174,000 a year, right? That are in office because people handed them the keys. They said they're going to do something and they didn't deliver the product. So now y'all want to, this motherfucker's making hundreds of millions of dollars from doing the same shit. Y'all like, yeah, but did you hear the way he talked about it? Did you hear the way he talked about the policies? He's got to be a little bit different. No, his career is literally identical to most career politicians. I can't even believe the parody of it. Like, he's famous, or excuse me, he's wealthy from promising to deliver a product and then reneging or never following through. The reason that we're in the situation that we're in with the United States is because how many people ran on promising to deliver a product and they never followed through. Like, so I'm confused as to why y'all are jumping ship. I'm not voting for Trump because I've had my problems with Trump. Why are y'all jumping ship to Vivek expecting better results? Like, the one thing that Trump has that benefits him in the eyes of many of us, like many leftists or many independent people, is like, shit, man, he got to be at least a little bit better than Biden, because otherwise they wouldn't be going so hard for this man. They wouldn't be gunning for him the way they're gunning for him. That he at least got that. Vivek getting boosted up by articles. They love talking about him. He stays trending on Twitter. His engagement on Twitter is clearly inorganic. I don't understand why people, like, come on, y'all can't be this far behind the curve. We all saw Obama. I know some of y'all didn't vote for him, but Candace did. Candace had a whole website dedicated to this motherfucker. And you literally gonna sit right in front of Obama 2.0, but less handsome, a little bit shorter, not as funny. He's just like almost as charismatic as Obama, but like Vivek don't got that charisma that I hate. I hate Obama's charisma because Obama got the charisma that makes me forget I hate him. I hate it so much, bro. Obama started talking, I'm like, man, like he really ain't that bad. No, man, fuck that guy. I keep forgetting how much I hate him. God damn, boy, I hate Obama. He's so damn, because of how smooth he is, that's why I hate him even more, because it's hard. Like, viscerally, you feel yourself being brought in by Obama. That's what be pissing me. Like, Vivek give me the ick. I don't really feel like that with Vivek. I can see right through him. Maybe it's because of the Obama experience, but he's not even as smooth as Obama, because Obama was a smooth, he had his speeches, like, he knew how to talk, he didn't have to switch up. Like, Vivek loves to switch up depending on who he's in front of. Barack never had to do that. Barack will tell you the wrong thing and convince you it's the right thing. That's how smooth he was. So I don't know how these people were falling for it. But I hope that Candace and Cernovich and anyone who has switched from Trump, not because my issue once again isn't that they switched from Trump. My issue is that they switched from Trump with expectations that Vivek is supposed to be different. That's my issue. And I hope that y'all saw this video of him literally manipulating an old, desperate woman who is terrified for the future of her nation into voting for him because he's somehow supposed to be different than the establishment. But they're also somehow going to give him the power to undo everything that they've been doing to Trump, because that's how that works, right? Crazy, y'all. Whew. What's the next topic? Why I can't stand Vivek? Oh man, this is depressing. This is the depressing. Look, y'all know I'm a big MCU fan, right? Y'all know this. So when I tell y'all, when I saw this, my heart broke. Yeah. Marvel will introduce an Israeli superhero called Sabra. This ain't Marvel. This ain't it, bro. Nah, nope, can't do it. I don't know. Nah, nope. And to be fair to Marvel, they had already planned on introducing her. And I don't give a fuck. Nah, Nah, I don't want to say. No. Like, what's her power gonna be? Taking other people's powers? And then attacking innocent people, women and children, stealing their stuff? And then whenever those people fight back, she plays the victim and blames them? Is that what her superpower is going to be? Is it going to be stealing thousands of acres of land with a single annexation? Like, what the fuck? What would her powers actually be? How? Do y'all, come on, guys. I be going so hard for Marvel, man. Y'all don't even know. I do. Because Marvel gets a lot of shit that they don't deserve. But this shit, oh, it gets better, man. It gets better. So obviously she's gonna be played by an Israeli. But what's crazy about it is, it's like her character is crazy. Okay, she's Sabra is the alter ego of Israeli superheroine Ruth Bat Seraph. She's a mutant and serves as an agent to the Israeli Secret Service known as Mossad. Bro, you cannot make this up. This is the worst possible time. This is the worst possible time. Look at it. The worst possible time, yo. The Mossad. Y'all, they don't even like saying the CIA in the MCU. They obviously default to SHIELD. Only recently have they brought up the CIA, but for a long time, they never even brought up CIA. And y'all about to, and what's crazy is the audacity of the shit is they're introducing her in the new Captain America. It was going to be called New World Order, but they even had to change the name of that. And the irony, right? She was supposed to be introduced in New World Order, but they changed the name of New World Order, so it will no longer be called New World Order. I think it's going to be called Brave. Yeah, it's called Brave New World. That's why they had to change the name. Y'all, can't do it. Figure it out. Now, I will, in all fairness to the actress, who is Israeli, I want to say, make sure I pronounce her name right. The actress's name is Shira Haas. She is Israeli. Now, granted, they picked the whitest goddamn Israeli they could find. This girl's blonde hair, blue eyes, like clearly straight from Poland or Germany. But whatever. I went back to go look for some of the stuff she said. That woman has been quiet as a mouse since 2021. She ain't tweeted shit. She ain't had no interviews about shit. She ain't talked about October 7th. She ain't talked about Palestine. She ain't talked about none of that. Not even a little bit. She's a smart woman. She's a very, very, very smart woman. Somebody told her about 2-3 years ago, hey, look, I know you might be proud to be Israeli. I know you might have some feelings, right, about the circumstances regarding Israel and Palestine. But I suggest if you want to stay in business, because shit gonna pop off, I suggest if you want to stay in business, rather than ending up like whatever, Wonder Woman's not doing nothing with herself ass now because nobody likes her, and also Wonder Woman was trash. Wonder Woman 1984 was garbage. I don't know why she has an Israeli accent in the Wonder Woman movie is beyond me, but whatever. They were like, nah, man, you need to chill out. So she personally has not said anything about the circumstances at this point. That's a good thing. That's great, actually. However, still, bro, nah. Look, once again, and what the audacity is, y'all want to know what they say her power actually is? Her power is, well, like in the comics is where her power was. I don't know where her power is going to be in MCU. But her power is that she helps her other superheroes heal faster. Do you understand the goddamn irony of that shit? An Israeli helping anybody heal faster is crazy. Y'all gonna have that be the representation? I know I got some unborn or newborn children that never got to live their lives, and some women, and about 20,000 people, actually more than that now, unfortunately, that might beg to differ. They might not think that that's the best superpower. And I want you all to understand something. There is a Muslim superhero, obviously, well, it's not obvious to some of y'all. There is a Muslim superhero in MCU. Her name is Kamala. And her being Muslim she's Pakistani, but her being Muslim specifically, and her being Desi, but just the Muslim part of it, is a centerpiece of her character. Her being Muslim, like being Christian or being patriotic or being, like those are all characteristics, right? Characteristics. Why are you making an Israeli superhero? And like, she's the only one. If there was like other Israelis, like I could see, okay, whatever, there's like a group of them. Because there's like a group of like Red Guardian, but there's actually a legitimate reason as to why there was a Red Guardian at the time. Like there's a whole group of them. There's a whole group of those people. The Red Guardian, Omega Red, like all those cats are for a specific group, and they were like, it was their origins come from the Cold War. There were Red Guardian was supposed to be the antithesis of Captain America. He's supposed to be the Russian representative. Like that actually makes sense. Y'all just woke up one day and was like, we're gonna make it Israeli? For who? For why? For what? Because somebody made a call. Disney made a call. Disney made a call. Y'all letting me down, MCU. That's crazy. Oh, the power to heal other people. By the way, I can support the show with super chats, all that good stuff. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Oh, Jesus Christ. Y'all killing me, MCU. And they did such a great job on Echo. I don't know if y'all seen Echo, but Echo was absolutely fantastic. I was pleasantly surprised because I wasn't going to watch it at first, but I'm glad I did. They gave her character, they did her character justice, and they also did Kingpin justice. If you haven't watched that yet, go watch that. But I'm letting y'all know right now, y'all put this, unless she's the damn bad guy, y'all put this little Israeli, y'all know they delayed the movie. They delayed the film. They haven't specified a reason as to why they delayed it either. It's probably because they realized maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be good to release a film or produce a film while said country and the Mossad, by extension, are being tried for war crimes. It's different with Captain. Y'all gotta remember, Captain America was calling out the U.S. and the MCU. He was calling out the government. He was calling out the intelligence community. So now you're gonna have an Israeli representative of the intelligence community? Yeah, it ain't a good look, is all I'm saying. Not a good look. And then to put it beside the black Captain America on top of it all, that would be just horrible. We're gonna do two things real quick. Y'all know the Vanguard? I barely know them. But they had something they wanted to say about Tulsi and felt like they wanted to use my face to promote it. So I thought it'd be a good time to have a little laugh, because motherfucker got me fucked up. Hold up real quick.
Yeah, dude, so this was
Here we go.
Black and maybe man, you know, it seems like and like I saw her on Joe Rogan one time, she seemed cool. Like I feel like that's kind of her base at this point. It's like people that aren't really paying that much attention, because anyone who actually is paying attention knows that she's like the most freaking contradictory, hypocritical politician to ever live. And we're at the point now where even her former biggest simps and biggest defenders are just straight up calling her out. Here's Niko House saying X removed several of the biggest anti-imperialist accounts on Twitter today without explanation or reason. And again, I don't know if Niko House just recently jumped off the Tulsi train, but
There you go. You don't know. You start off a sentence so perfectly. You have no idea what you're talking about. But, hey, man, got to bring up Niko, so let's go ahead and hear him out. Let's hear what he got to say.
I can tell you up until like maybe a year or so ago, this guy was still defending Tulsi Gabbard. He was literally on
Interesting.
her payroll at one point.
That's a new one. Hold up. Let me backtrack a little bit. Oh, what is that?
So ago, this guy was still defending Tulsi Gabbard. He was literally on her payroll at one point. He was an actual surrogate for Tulsi Gabbard. His whole YouTube channel was like devoted to making Tulsi Gabbard propaganda. Essentially, I remember he would like debate people and claim that Tulsi Gabbard was the better candidate than Bernie Sanders from a leftist perspective, and give all these stupid reasons why people should vote for Tulsi instead of Bernie. And then, even after it was beyond obvious that Tulsi Gabbard was just a grifter and a right-wing opportunist.
Okay. All right, Jay and Silent Bob. First of all, no, I was not on the payroll. I was not on the payroll. Second of all, yeah, I was a surrogate. But yeah, I was an advisor also. And for my decision at the time, I still stand by my decision at the time. And I still believe that at the time, she was the better candidate. Now, this traumatized Republican, I don't even want to call her that, like neocon version of Tulsi, I don't even know that woman, but that's her business. I've criticized her plenty on social media at this point, but y'all are hilarious, because really quick, before I even get into what I did and didn't do, weren't y'all the ones who were stuck up Marianne Williamson's crotch, knowing how horrible of a candidate she was? See, there was a difference. Like, whenever I supported Tulsi, for example, y'all know I'm really big about protecting the environment. There was legislation that Tulsi introduced at the time. So like, I didn't have to rely on her words because I saw the legislation. Thank you, Bethlehem. I appreciate it. I didn't have to rely on her words. I just looked at the legislation. Right. When it came to election integrity, big issue of mine, I didn't have to guess how Tulsi felt about it at the time. I just looked at the legislation. Healthcare. I looked at the policy she was working on. I heard Bernie talk a lot. And that was it. Marianne Williamson, I heard her talk a lot. And she was fucking horrid. She's been a Zionist. Unapologetically so. I don't know what the hell. She talks about sick care versus health care versus whatever the hell. I never knew where she stood on that particular issue. As long as you mention the women that are involved, she will justify going to war with any nation and sending U.S. troops there. And because she took a picture with you at a wedding, Like, y'all were kissing her ass. Y'all thought that Marianne Williamson was going to be the grift of the year. Remember that? People forget about that. I ain't forget. I didn't forget. I wasn't streaming back then. I was on a little vacation, right? But I did not forget that y'all was kissing Marianne Williamson's ass when we all know who she was. When she had no legislation to speak of, where she had no consistent history of doing a goddamn thing. This is the same Marianne Williamson that spent 2.5 to 3 years telling us that Joe Biden was an amazing president. Shit, for all Tulsi's faults lately, at least she ain't saying that bullshit. But because she took a picture with y'all got all giddy. Y'all thought that was going to be y'all little wave that y'all were going to ride. Listen, guys, once again, Jay and Silent Bob, I know that y'all are new here. I can tell. I really can. But, bro, just do yourselves a favor. Don't mention me. Don't mention me. Do not do it. Before I fucking embarrass y'all. Because the fact that y'all thought that Marianne Williamson even had a chance. She had no strategy. She's nothing. She was no influence whatsoever. But beyond that, yeah, I was a surrogate for a presidential candidate. And if I might add, one of the last 3 presidential candidates in the Democratic primary, if I'm not mistaken, who only dropped out because of the pandemic. And if you ask Huffington Post and a lot of, publications and a lot of influencers around the country and around the world, they would probably make a pretty accurate argument. The reason that Tulsi was so good on so many issues before, we parted ways, well, not parted ways, but we stopped talking, life gets in the way, was because who was the one checking her? Who was the one correcting her where she needed to be corrected? Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. That was me. When she was wrong on Syria and then she got it right. That was because of me, yeah. Her vote to not impeach Trump. Who you think, that was me. Who do you think that was? And that was the right vote, wasn't it? The legislation that she was working on, that she constantly introduced, that we talked about, that didn't come out of nowhere. And beyond that, I was invited to be the press secretary of Bernie's campaign. I ain't gonna go into the details of that, but yeah, I could have been that too. Once again, y'all are new here. I know y'all like to be like the new little fresh progressive TMZ, but y'all new here. But I do notice, for all that energy y'all have for Tulsi and all that good, y'all don't have that energy for Bree. Why don't y'all have that energy for Bree? And Bree's my homie. Yeah, I got all the love in the world for Bree. But Bree was Bernie's surrogate. Bree was Bernie's press secretary. Kyle and Crystal was on Bernie's dick, and they were horribly wrong. He got to make sacrifice, guys. He's going to get concessions. Oh, just kidding. He's going to do everything that Biden says and make excuses for it. I know that y'all don't got the energy for them. And somebody messaged me the other day, or they posted me I think they might have added me on Twitter. They're like, why did the Vanguard say that you were kind of a grifter? Kind of a grifter, how? The candidate I backed had legislation. I didn't have to rely on her words. Bernie had a lot of talk. Ain't do shit. Oh, and threw his whole movement under the bus. And I have a lot of respect for Bree for being willing to challenge Bernie, and all people were willing to challenge Bernie after. That Kyle and Crystal don't fall into that category, and I noticed that once again, Vanguard has nothing to say about that. Y'all are new here. I noticed that since you haven't been able to ride your little Jimmy Dore train like you were in the beginning, things haven't been all that great for you. I know. It's rough out there, guys. It's rough out there where you actually don't have any legitimate analysis and no one actually knows who the fuck you are or where you came from. But some of us have been here, and there's a reason that, we get asked to do things by people who actually have the ability to make change that you don't get asked, because nobody knows who the fuck you are. And the only reason you're mentioning me is because what? Y'all all know who I am, right? Exactly. But I already told y'all. Y'all don't refer to anybody who supported Bernie or worked for Bernie as a simp. You address them correctly with whatever their job title was. But when it comes to women, when it comes to a woman, if they supported or worked for her, they were a simp. No. I had a job that I was doing. Voluntarily so, by the way. I was pretty good at it. And so what's the difference? Is it because she's a woman? Yeah, probably. But if there's some goddamn simps out there, y'all was simping for Marianne Williamson because there ain't even a reason. Y'all can't even give us any justification as to why y'all was, just because you took a picture with y'all at a wedding. God damn it, Kyle dyed his hair blonde. I completely forgot about that shit until just now. Why y'all let that man do that? We ain't gonna talk about that though. It's not about him. So Jay and Silent Bob smokes crack. Stay in your lanes. Stay over there. Stay over there, YouTube TMZ. Because once again, I really don't know who y'all are. I wouldn't even have known about this until somebody sent it to me. And even when they sent it, I was like, the Vanguard, who the hell are they? Why are they even talking about me? Because if you did your research, you already talking crazy. Oh, he was literally on Tulsi's payroll. Well, if I was and I was working, like, motherfucker, that's kind of what happens during campaigns. Once again, Bree was on payroll too. That's what happens. Not her payroll. He was on Bernie's payroll. She was on Bernie's payroll. But you don't got the energy, right? You're talking about, this is the first time, and nope. If you've actually been paying attention, once again, you would know that I've criticized Tulsi plenty of times over the last couple of years. I criticized Tulsi during the campaign while I was working for her. I don't know where the fuck y'all keep getting that I didn't. Me criticizing her was how I got the job. That's how I became, that's how we got so close. Unlike y'all, who was just kissing Bernie's ass unapologetically, hoping that he would notice you one day. Because y'all knew that there was the golden rule. You can't criticize Bernie, or he will disown you publicly. Tulsi has plenty of problems. And once again, if you actually went to social media and saw, other than like 3 days ago, you would have known that. You would have known that I've criticized them. I've already, that train has left the station, gentlemen. But don't mention me again. Don't do it. I'm gonna start charging y'all motherfuckers. Don't be out here trying to monetize. That's what it was. They were trying to monetize off my name. That's crazy, y'all. I ain't even been on YouTube and people trying to monetize off of my name. That's just, times is hard out here. Y'all know inflation's crazy. I know David Pakman trying to tell y'all otherwise. Inflation's crazy, the economy's bad, and Vanguard's struggling. So I guess we're just gonna mention whoever we have to in order to stay relevant. But we never gonna let y'all forget that y'all have so much foresight, so much discernment politically, that y'all thought Marianne Williamson was the answer. Y'all thought that was gonna be the train that y'all rode to the promised land. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, she's a horrible candidate, but the fact that y'all even thought that was a good idea makes me question everything about y'all. I didn't even see a single episode before I knew that, and I knew, like, oh, these are some dumbass motherfuckers. There ain't no way that they're staking their channel success on riding the Marianne Williamson train. Holy shit. And yep, they did. Shout out to Jill Stein. Y'all know that's you can't ever go wrong voting for Jill Stein. Literally. That woman is absolutely brilliant. Never, you can never go wrong voting for Jill Stein, ever. And had she run in 2024, or excuse me, in 2020, I probably would have ended up working for her. To be completely honest. We're going to close out with Martin Luther King. Y'all know these neoliberals out here immediately started going to the, oh man, Martin Luther King Day. Hey dog, you know, shout out to Martin Luther King. It's his day, civil rights. First of all, y'all already know how I feel about this. Don't let them water his image down. The government was found responsible for killing MLK. Remember that. Martin Luther King, by the time that he had come to the end of his life via assassination, he was closer to Malcolm X than he was to Gandhi. In other words, he was about that action. He was tired of black people getting treated like shit. He was anti-government. He was anti-imperialist. They like naming everything Martin Luther King Boulevard. They like naming everything Martin Luther King Boulevard, Martin Luther King, because they also like to teach in the same school books. Hey, focus on MLK, and then they'll say what? Focus on MLK, and oh, by the way, he was about peace and turn the other cheek, and he said, don't fight back. Nah, bro, that's not where MLK was at by the time he left. And that's also why they don't name a bunch of roads outside of Georgia, of course. They don't name a bunch of roads, Malcolm X Boulevard and Fred Hampton Highway, right? They try to water them down. And a lot of the deep state, if you will, a lot of neoliberals, a lot of neocons trying to cheer on Martin Luther King. And at the same goddamn out, talking about, remember what he said. Y'all want to know what did Martin Luther King say? Let's talk about what he said about Israel and Palestine specifically. He said, now at the beginning, for full context, Martin Luther King said, peace for Israel means security, and we must stand with all of our might to protect its right to exist, its territorial integrity. King said, I see Israel as one of the great outposts of democracy in the world, and a marvelous example of what can be done, how desert land almost can be transformed into an oasis of brotherhood and democracy. Now, of course, this is in the beginning. This is when a lot of people thought that Israel was going to be all that shit that he just said. Then, reality hit. And he said, I think for the ultimate peace and security of the situation, it will probably be necessary for Israel to give up this conquered territory, because to hold on to it will only exacerbate the tensions and deepen the bitterness of the Arabs, he said. For King, joining the peace movement was tantamount to walking the political tightrope. On one hand, civil rights movement had a great supporter in the U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson. No, he didn't. That's a lie. But anyway, give up the land. Now, I believe they should give up everything. But there are a lot of people who say Israel has a right to exist. And so in that vein, all Martin Luther King said is, hey, y'all, like, don't be like that. Don't be like that. Give back the fucking land that you stole. I've noticed that I saw Hakeem Jeffries saying something, Anthony Blinken says, in all those tweets, especially on we just got done with hearing testimonies in the ICJ about all the crimes that Israel's committed. And despite all that, given the time that we're in, everybody want to mention MLK? Nobody want to mention the part where he said, give Palestinians their land back or you're going to have problems. I would say it's prophetic, but in reality, it's just common sense. It wasn't really all that prophetic. It was, you steal people's shit, they're going to have a problem with it eventually. That's basically where he was at with it. I am so over people watering down MLK's legacy. Martin Luther King grew to be revolutionary. Him getting killed, and Malcolm X, and I know they always focus on Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, RFK, and JFK. But in reality, bruh, you got Che got killed, Fred Hampton got killed. I mean, there's a bunch of people got assassinated. And you don't get assassinated because you were not thinking forward in a revolutionary manner that was going to upset the foundation of the establishment. But they love to take one of the benefits for them about assassinating certain people, that they then get to take control of that narrative. And we must fight every day tooth and nail, especially when it comes to black leaders, civil rights activists, human rights activists. We have to fight tooth and nail every single day to make sure that they don't water down those legacies and conduct a narrative siege like they love to do. They love to do it. Like they just tried to do it now. Lyndon B. Johnson was a advocate of the civil rights movement. No, the fuck he was not. That boy was racist as hell. And they said he was an ally of Martin Luther King. That wasn't true either, but whatever. That's why we have to have these conversations, right? So, with that being said, I have to head into a meeting, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this dress rehearsal. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for tuning in to our little dress rehearsal, like I said, for the People podcast. Make sure y'all like this video, share this video. Come back. Next time we will be live on, hopefully, Rockfin and YouTube and Rumble and potentially Twitter. This time didn't go that way for whatever reason, but next time I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be all right. Let me see. I think that's it, yeah. You can support the show. If y'all, this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe, of course. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all join the Telegram channel. If you want to become a monthly Patreon subscriber, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description below. I also have Bitcoin if you want to donate through Bitcoin, Ethereum if you want to donate through Ethereum. Both of those addresses are in the description below. Other than that, we're going to sign off as we always sign off, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.